Everybody, welcome to Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone, who's on tour in Florida in January, right?
Yep, I'll be in Florida in January. Other dates have been announced. RonPlacone.com for all those tickets.
You remember this moment, right, where George W. Bush passes a piece of candy to Michelle Obama at Jon McCain's funeral? Oh, look at that. And everybody went nuts. Everybody's like, oh, it's so heartwarming. Look, he gave her a piece of candy. Oh, is it nice? And then Michelle Obama went on to say, we're partners in crime, war crimes. And isn't that funny, Hills? And so this kind of stuff makes me sick. I don't know why it makes me extra sick, because it's so stupid.
But they just eat candy like you and me.
Yeah. Oh,
They're people. I could buy candy too.
I'm sure. Look, George Bush is saying, I ignored everybody in New Orleans after Katrina, and you ignored Flint. So here's a piece of candy. That's what I think about when I see stuff like that. I think about all the horrible stuff they did and the stuff they should have did that they didn't. Like fix the Flint water. I think about that. Or maybe help people after a hurricane in New Orleans. I think about that. That's without the war crimes that they both committed.
You don't think about how you just want to have a beer with everybody there?
No.
Wow, you're different.
So here's the next one. So here's at George Herbert Walker's Bush for the funeral of another literal war criminal who lied us into a war. And I know a lot of people don't know that, but he lied us into the first Gulf War. And there's been a lot of people rewriting history in their eulogies of George Herbert Walker Bush. Like there was a good and bad, but it was mostly bad. He was horrible. He was a freaking war criminal who used race baiting to get elected. So here's the latest funeral, and here he is. He's going to lean in. Watch, he leans in, and there he is, and he gives a piece of candy. Gives a piece of candy. Isn't that nice? The people are going crazy. Look, there it is. There's the candy. Oh, it's like a regular thing for them now where they exchange candy. Oh, here it comes, candy. I'm going to show it one more time. Here it comes, candy. Wait a minute. He switches hands now. Oh, what he does, like a true magician. He gets you to look at the other hand.
Like a true David Copperfield.
Oh! David Copperfield. That's what George Herbert Walker Bush would say before he would molest people. Or I would say grope. Molest is when it happens to a kid. He did do it one 16-year-old girl. He did put his hand up her skirt and grab her. And then, of course, InStyle magazine tweets out, Michelle Obama and her partner in crime, George W. Bush, recreate their viral candy exchange today in a sweet moment before her father's funeral. Woo! But, George W. Bush passed the candy to the Obamas so graciously, it's like they were tax cuts. Come on. Come on. George W. dropped that candy so casually you'd think it was a drone. Am I right? Come on. Come on. Am I right? Yes. Every time Michelle gets a cough drop, a Middle East country gets a drone. True story. So there it is. And they tweeted out, look at war criminal, wife of a war criminal. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Here's what Aaron Mate says. I'd bet anything that a PR consultant urged Bush to do this again. Mr. Bush, we got huge numbers off that McCain candy. Let's do it again at your father's funeral.
It just gives people a nice, heartwarming moment to hold on to them as they prepare to avoid their families this holiday season.
Yes. And you know what I like about it, too? I like that the both of them are putting the fun back in funeral, right? They're putting the fun back in funeral. That's what I like. It's really a funeral.
That's right.
Here's what Ben Norton says. He goes right at him. He goes, hugging a war criminal who has the blood of 1 million Iraqis on his hands and who set an entire region of the world on fire is such a cute, sweet moment, isn't it? Ben Norton, geez, people say I'm caustic.
And that's for the jugular, that one. That one right for the jugular.
You know what people, then he goes, and then here's someone else who comes, you think this is caustic? Okay, hold on. This is going to ruin. I hope you're not eating or anything. So be prepared. I'm giving you a trigger warning. No kidding. Here it comes. This guy says, here's another cute Bush moment. In the Iraq War, the United States military used depleted uranium rounds meant for armor over civilian areas, giving rise to a host of birth defects and deformities. The candy story is good, though. There's a picture of a deformed baby born because of depleted uranium.
Yeah, Congressman Jim McDermott up in Seattle really summed up what depleted uranium really did over there. When they have a child, they don't ask, is it a boy or a girl? They ask, is it normal?
Really?
Because of how many birth defects because of depleted uranium, yeah.
Well, it was really, we had no other choice. We're just testing stuff out. That just like with the first atomic bomb, the second atomic bomb, we're just testing it out. Japan was ready to surrender. They were looking for a way to surrender. MacArthur said it was gross, that we shouldn't do it. Lots of generals said we shouldn't do it. They did it anyway because they wanted to make sure it worked. We got to make sure these atomic bombs work. We got to drop them on some people. This is just, now they're using depleted uranium. I took the picture off because it's too heartbreaking. But that's what I think about. I think about when I see that bullshit, when I see this stuff, that's what I think about. I think about babies born deformed, and then the oligarchs sitting there passing each other candy at the death of another war criminal. We're a sick society. I hate to tell you that. I know people are brought up in the United States thinking we always are the good guys doing good things. We're the biggest monsters around right now. And by the way, we have been for a while. That's why it's always funny when they go, oh, Hassan's a butcher, or Gaddafi's got to go, or Saddam is horrible, or by the way, so we're in bed with these guys half the time anyway, or more, like Saudi Arabia, and we were buddy with Saddam. We had no problem when he was gassing people. We were his friend. We sold him the gas. So again, these funerals really turn my stomach. And to pretend that you're supposed to have manners when a literal and actual war criminal dies is not a thing. That's just pretend bullshit. That's like if you don't go to church on Sunday, you're going to go to hell forever. It's just one of those things they make up. It's not real. There's no such thing as manners when it comes to war criminals. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice when we drop a video. Thanks for your support.